Hebrews 10 and 38. Now the just shall live by faith. All the people say. I want to talk to you from the subject, live on. Live on. This discourse, it has been very, very strongly impressed in my spirit as your pastor. And one of the major challenges of being a pastor is to grow the membership collectively and individually. There are some things that the membership will grasp hold to, but there are other things that maybe they disqualify for whatever reason. But the faith message is the message that will help you live beyond what's normal. The faith message is a message that challenges the believer to step up their life and to step up their focus and to step up their walk with God, believing in what the promise of God is, opposed to what you see is going on. Faith then speaks to your reasoning. And good to see Tammy Larry's mother. Your reasoning and how you are interpreted by men or identified by men in terms of not doing things the normal way. Why you don't act like us? Why you don't do like us? Why you don't walk like us, talk like us? It is because my faith is in Jesus and not in this world. The world system is designed, beloved, to swallow you. Chasing a pipe dream. Bishop, you're telling me stop dreaming? No, I'm not saying not to dream, but don't chase it. Don't chase it, because chasing it will cause you to miss God. Because see, your ways are not God's ways. Your thoughts are not God's thoughts. And what happens with chasing life, you turn to live by your ego. And it's not ego in terms of how you know the definition. E, edge, G, God, O, out. Edge, God, out. Because I got this. I know where I'm going. I know what I'm doing. I'm going to be all right. But I believe if somebody would testify that's been rooted and grounded in God, they will tell you these words: He'll make a way out of no way. Can I get a witness? God will, honey, He will do it. Whatever He promised. But you have need, as the Bible said, of patience. You need to slow down your life. You need to trust God. Lean not to your own understanding. Delight thyself in the Lord. Honor Him, worship Him. Life ain't fair. It ain't fair. Life ain't gonna do you like you planned it. And what happens when things don't go folks' way, they turn to something else. Folk stuff don't go right in Raleigh, they move to California. California ain't gonna make it better because it's the same you. No matter what state you go to, it's the same you that was in Raleigh. What has to change is not your environment, but you. The change, folk don't want to change. You're gonna be the same terror in Los Angeles as you were in Raleigh. You're gonna be the same in Minnesota as you were in LA. And you can keep moving chasing. Well, Bishop, what you telling me? I got to make it. Well, if God be your helper, you gonna make it. Some way, somehow, you gonna make it. If you just hold fast and be faithful and trust in God and know the Lord is on your side. How many of you know he never failed you yet? Can I get a witness? Jesus Christ never fails. He don't fail. Let me tell you something. Life goes full circle, beloved, because once you go out there and try everything, you're going to end up right back at 11:10. Church folk gonna be still getting on your nerve after you leave and come back. They was on your nerve to make you leave, and when you get back, they still gonna be on your nerve, because some folk in the church ain't gonna change. Some folk in the church don't want you to be successful. Some folk not gonna celebrate you. They didn't like you before you left. They ain't gonna like you when you come back. But you got to say, my life is not determined on what you say about me, but what God got to say. And God said, I'm the head. Can I in here? Not the tail. The lender, not the borrower. I want to be above and not beneath. Be what God said. So, and almost I'm closing. When you walk by faith, you ask God, can you let me do something else besides this? Can you just let me do something else, not this? But Bishop, what you talking about? I see Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. When he had to drink of the bitter cup, he said, my flesh is weak, but my spirit is willing. But what he did say, he said, Father, let this cup pass from me. In other words, God, can you let me do something else? And if Jesus, the Messiah, our Lord and our God, will ask the Father, he had the feeling, can you let me do something else besides taking this bitter cup? Let me become sin enough. Don't let me take on sin. I'm your son. Please, because my flesh, number one, I don't even want to die. But I know I came here to die. Can't you change your mind? But can I get a faith walker to understand that when God tells you something, you have no options. Ain't no negotiation. When it comes time for you to produce what God told you to produce, you have no out with that. He said, I got to drink of the cup. Touch somebody and tell them, you got to become what God demands. Now y'all said that a little slow, but tell somebody emphatically, you got to become what God demands. We fight against it. We fight against it because it just don't fit. It just don't feel good. It don't make me get compliments, and it causes me to lose friends and relationships. But how many of you know God got better for you? Lord have mercy. I said, how many of you know God got better for you? But shall my soul today. If you know God has better for you, you got to put your hand to the gospel plow. And you hang on in there now. You hang in there. You ride that horse. And you let it buck all it's going to buck. And some days it feel like it's going to throw you off. But you get another grip. Y'all know. Anybody ever re-grip that thing? Tell your neighbor, get another grip on it. It's bucking. Feel like it's gonna throw you off, but if you just lock your legs and grab them real tight, but it's still bucking. But after a while, a few days, you tell your neighbor, I'm gonna win over this thing I'm riding, and then you get it back in order. After a while, you turn it to the left, it'll go left. You turn it to the right, it'll go right. And when you say giddy up, it'll giddy up. And when you say hold, it'll slow down. Touch somebody and tell them it may be rough right now, but if you stay in the race, God gonna give you total control. I said God gonna give you total. He's gonna give you total control. If you believe it, shout glory.